Okay. I can edit that part. That's cool. Okay. Hi everyone. I want to talk about breastfeeding in public today. That is a very controversial topic. I actually posted this on my Facebook or a discussion about it. And there were a couple of women who were like, this shouldn't even be a controversial topic, which I agree with because it's stupid, but it is. And in some places, I know like where I used to live in Georgia, they actually banned women from breastfeeding in public, which I think is stupid because I also used to work at Hooters. So it's like stupid that you can have your breast where your nipples almost showing and serve food to people and it's not a problem, or you can be a model and you can have your breasts showing, the entire nipple, everything, but you can't breastfeed, which sometimes is covered up by some type of a blanket, or you have a shirt that is that will partially cover everything up, or unless you have abnormally large areolas, which is the area that's around the colored area that's around the nipple. When you're breastfeeding, you cannot see the baby's head and the baby's mouth cover that entire colored area, so you can't even really see. You can't even really see the entire breast. You're just seeing like the outside part of the breast, which people show all the time at the beach in bikinis. Like there's nothing that is provocative, but the issue is that people have sexualized the breast. The breasts are, the correct name for breasts are mammary glands. They are just glands. That's all a breast is. The only purpose that a breast serves is for when a woman becomes pregnant. It will fill up with milk at the postpartum, which means after birth. It will fill up with milk and be able to supply food, nourishment for the baby. That is really the only purpose that a breast has. Yes, most women have them. And I say most because some people have, a genetic issues as to which they do not. But we lactate for that only purpose. The only purpose we have that organ for. Every other thing we have on our body, we can do multiple things with. We can, our vaginas. Yeah, we have sex, but we also give birth. Our legs, we walk with them, we run with them. They used to bend so we can sit. Our stomachs do several different things. Our arms do several different things. Our necks rotate our head and help you bend over and all kinds of stuff. But your breasts, they only have one purpose. Just one purpose. And that is to fill up with milk. And because the female body is beautiful, everything that women have that has to do with childbearing and child rearing has been sexualized. So breasts, simply for lactation, it's this sexual object, people, boobs, titties, breast. I mean, there's so many different names for breasts. Hips, which women have, because our femur, which is the bone that's inside of your thigh, are shaped differently from men, for the purpose of being able to push out a child. And then our derriere, our behinds, booty, ass, whatever people want to call it, again, used for child rearing, for the comfort of childbearing, I mean. And that's been sexualized. It's this sexual thing, which again is not. I mean, hips are just not for sex. I mean, and these things, yeah, they do allure a man. So all of this is anthropology, and all of this is biology. All of this is about mating. So yeah, these things do allure men, just like there are things that men have, such as like broad shoulders, their stature, their height. Those things allure women, but those things also have to do with, can this man, people think about in the olden days, can this man help build a house? Can he chop wood? Things like that. So yeah, when men look at women, they look at these things for really the purpose of mating, so they're looking at, they look at her, her breasts, they look this way, and her behind, her hips look this way. But this is really deeply psychological. This is anthropology. They're thinking about, it's not something that they're consciously aware of. They're thinking about, can this woman rear children? And especially in Black culture, if you're skinny and you don't really have what they call a shape, you get made fun of. Because a shapely figure is considered womanly. It's considered feminine. So if you don't have that, it's kind of like, people make fun of you. I've even heard women say that their mothers, our own mothers, will say stuff like, "Oh, your breasts are too small. You probably can't feed a baby," which is not true. But that's just the connotation with that. So that being said, breasts are the only purpose is to feed a baby. So it's very sad that they have been sexualized in such a way in this culture that they can be used for advertisements, they can be used to sell hot wings, they can be used to do all this other stuff. But if you have your breast out, or even partially out, so that you can feed a hungry child, people will tell you to go to the restroom. And there's a sister, and her name is Sojourner, and Sojourner Marable, and she is the daughter of a very prominent African American leader, and she's still based in Atlanta. She's very active in the community in Atlanta. She did a campaign called goodness, I can't remember. I think it's called Table for Two. Please forgive me if that's wrong, but it's called Table for Two because it's basically saying, like, I will not eat in the restroom. And she did an entire, or I will not feed my child in the restroom, because you don't eat in the restroom. It's nasty to eat in the restroom. There's toilets flushing, people in there coughing and stuff. It's gross. But as a breastfeeding mother, I've heard it. And I've heard other people say, like, why don't you just go eat in there? Why don't you just go feed the baby in the restroom? I don't want to see that. Well, fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. No one cares about what you want to see. Turn your head. And that's what I have to say to people who have issues with women breastfeeding in public. Because if a woman is walking around and her titties are hanging out the bottom of her shirt, no one has a problem. If her butt's hanging out of her shorts, no one has a problem. It's no big deal. But if a woman is nursing her child who's hungry, it's not a big deal. And then we have people who say stuff like, oh, well, just use a bottle. Okay, well, that is an option, but let me explain that to you. Because I have a friend who, me and her are still cool, but I had to set her straight because she was very, like, opinionated about this stuff. Of course, she doesn't have kids. That's how most people without kids are. They have all these opinions about stuff they know nothing about. And I believe she told me she thought that breastfeeding was gross. So of course she's gonna have this disconnected opinion, because she doesn't have that type of experience, and maybe she just doesn't have a nurturing nature. But another thing is people will say, well, just pump. Why don't you just pump so that you don't have to pull your boob out? Breast pumps are awesome. They're a great invention, especially if you're a working mother, if you're going to be away from your child, because you need to be able to express milk. And when I say express, that means to get milk out of the breast so that your breast milk will continue to flow. So breastfeeding is a on-demand type thing. If you say, I'm not really going to do nothing this week, I don't feel like breastfeeding this week, next week you're not really going to have no milk. Okay, you have to keep expressing milk, keep pumping it, keep feeding the baby, which is the best natural way to get milk out, or hand expressing, which is like basically squeezing the milk out if you want to be able to produce more milk. The less you express, the less milk you'll have. Okay, so that's why they created breast pumps, so that women could, an easier way other than hand expressing, which still works, to get milk out. It's still, breast pumps are, like I said, they're beautiful, they're wonderful, but they still are not the natural way of getting milk out. There is the way a baby suckles at the breast. And I'm speaking about this as a lactation counselor. Like, I've done training on this. I did a 3-month training to get a certificate to be what I call myself, a CLC, certified lactation counselor. The way a baby suckles at the breast, it signals to the mom, her pituitary gland, to produce more milk. It signals to the breast to produce more milk. basically a breast pump is an artificial baby mouth. Okay, it can never do what a baby's mouth does. There is a chemical response that goes on between mother and child when the baby is suckling at the breast. A breast pump cannot do that. That's why a lot of them will pump at work, and as soon as they get home, they're feeding their babies. They put the baby to the breast because your breast is not going to produce the same amount of milk if you only pump. So to tell a mother you should just pump and just use a bottle so we don't feel uncomfortable about you feeding your baby in public is BS, because it doesn't work the same. And pumping is time consuming, especially when you have a full breast and you have a crying baby. It's easier to just put them on the breast than to just try to sit there and use this squeezing machine. It's actually quite uncomfortable as well. I mean, you get used to it, but it's not very comfortable. So for mothers who are questioning, I don't know if I should do this or not, and or dads who are like, well, I don't really want this, I don't really want that. Yeah, breastfeeding covers are nice, but especially in the summertime, it's hot. And I know I've used a cover before, and my baby was under there. He was sweating. His little hair was slicked to his forehead. He's sweating, and it's just not comfortable. Now, like I said, they do have shirts that make it easier for you to breastfeed. But like I said, if there's a time when your baby's hungry, and if you're a breastfeeding mom, you know what I mean. Your breast will fill up with milk and start to leak when you hear a baby cry, especially your baby. And you're out to eat, or I've had to pull over on the highway and get in the back seat and feed my child. Whatever you need to do, just do that. And it doesn't matter if I've sat in so many parking lots and people have walked past and seen my titty. Whatever, your child has to eat. It's not about making other people comfortable. Like, other people, in my personal opinion, they can totally kiss my whole ass. I don't care about that. But the thing is that your child is hungry. That is really the bottom line. Your child is hungry, and to be just in discomfort, like I said, your breasts are getting fuller and fuller. That hurts. For those of you who don't know, for you to be in discomfort, your child to be in disarray, and you don't have a bottle, or they drank all their bottles up, because the breastfed babies can be real greedy. If you have to pull out your breast and you don't have a blanket, you don't have a cover, look, do what you have to do. They have breastfeeding bras, they have breastfeeding shirts for that, if you're going to be going out in public with your child. But do whatever you have to do. And if it makes other people uncomfortable, they have necks. Like I talked about your neck. Yeah, where you can rotate your head. They can turn away and focus on other stuff, like their dinner or whatever. There was a picture recently released of this lady. She posted of her breastfeeding her kid. She had her breast out, and somebody was like looking at her, shaking her head at her. And in the photo, her baby's to her breast, but she's looking away. But she said she was looking at this person, like basically having a stare off with them. Like, I dare you to come over here and say something to me. I'm feeding my child in public. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, so people who have an issue with that, they can turn their heads. Like, this is natural. That is really the whole gist of it. This is a natural thing. And if it makes someone else uncomfortable, who cares? There are people who shouldn't wear certain outfits and they wear those in public. There's people who curse out their kids in public. There's all kind of things people do that are I personally think are offensive in public, and people do them all the time. So if feeding your child is, makes other people uncomfortable, then so be it. You have to do what you have to do. And for those people who it makes uncomfortable, oh effing well, like, get over it. This era is just so silly. It's like, literally 60 years ago, there would be no other option. Like, there was no breast pump, and babies had to eat. And people are like, and for people who say just use formula, you're a complete asshole, because if you do any research on formula, find out very bad things about formula. So don't tell a mother she should just use something that not only costs $20 a damn can, it's not healthy. So that's my view on breastfeeding in public. I think it's wonderful. I think people should do it. I don't think anybody should be ashamed to do it. I have absolutely no shame about breastfeeding in public. My own father has seen me breastfeed, and he kept doing what he was doing. What are you looking at? Really, that's truly the issue. People who have issues with it, that's my question to you. What the hell are you looking at? If it offends you, look away. So, that's really my viewpoint on that. So for the moms, breastfeed on. Keep feeding your baby the full nourishment that they need so they won't be getting colds and making everybody else's kids sick later at school. That's really why we breastfeed. We breastfeed for our kids' health. So that is my view on that, and I hope that helps some of you all. And I will be doing, I just did my video about midwifery and doulahood. What's a doula? What's a midwife? So check that out. And I have more videos coming, especially for my pregnant moms. I have a giveaway coming up, a Christmas Kwanzaa giveaway. So look forward to that. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.